us from the Middle East as refugees and then give them food stamps, free medical care, free education, free lawyers, and free everything. It's time to take care of home first. Donald Trump is so different from Hillary Clinton, Jill Stein, and Gary Johnson. They all say bring them in from the south of the border. Just keep bringing them in. Have open borders. Donald Trump has the courage and the tenacity and the fortitude to say, build the wall now and make Mexico pay for it. Of all, build that wall. Of all the candidates running for president over the past 2 decades, the only one that I have heard say that we need to end automatic birthright citizenship is Donald Trump. He knows that we can't keep surviving as we are when you let people illegally come into this country, have a kid, and then that person's an automatic citizen. That isn't happening in other major countries of the world. The only way we can put America on the path to safety, security, and a new day is to vote for Donald Trump on November the 8th and make the change that we so desperately need in this country.
Thank you, Virgil. 45 days to go. 45 days to go. Let me tell you about our next speaker. Our next speaker has been a friend of mine now for a number of years. I first met this man when he was serving in the Virginia House of Delegates, and I had a problem in my business with a state agency, and he helped open doors and build dialogue with that, and I learned then that this was a man who represented the people and would do what he said, and I have said that probably started me down the road that led me being in the Virginia House of Delegates, so I don't know whether I ought to thank you for that or blame you for that, Morgan. But I will tell you this, 45 days out, 6 years ago, our next speaker was polling 18 points behind. 18 points behind. But today, they call him Congressman Morgan Griffith.
Thank you all so very much. Aren't we glad we're here today in the United States of America where we're about to elect Donald Trump, the next president of the United States. You know, Chris, it's amazing when you tell people the truth and you point out the record of those people that have been in power, how you can come from behind to win as people begin to realize if you want to change Washington, you have to change the people in office. And we changed it 6 years ago in the 9th District of Virginia, and we're going to take the White House away from the Democrats and give it back to the Republicans. Now, I have to tell you, folks, it's a lot easier today to say you're for Trump than it was 5 or 6 months ago, and there was discussions going on all around. And I will tell you that folks out there were saying Hillary Clinton was a sure shot to win. Nobody's saying that now, are they? But I was kind of proud. I got to tell you, I had a little bit of a proud moment. And some of you have heard this story because it's just one of those stories you can't make up, and truth is better than fiction. I had a proud moment. I drove home from Washington, D.C. And I got home, and my wife was fixing dinner. And she looked up as my then 8-year-old, he since had a birthday, who will be out here in a few minutes. He's in the back room now, maybe meeting Donald Trump for all I know. And she said, Stark, I got a call from one of the mothers on your school bus. It seems you told them that Hillary Clinton was a liar. Out of the mouths of babes. And she said, son, you can't just go around saying that people are liars. And I said, hang on a minute, honey. Hang on. I said, Stark, your mother's right. You can't just go around saying people are liars. You have to have evidence and proof that they're liars, and with Hillary Clinton, we do. And so the next time that you say or feel like saying on the bus or at school or out in public somewhere, Hillary Clinton's a liar, you tell them this story. There was this little thing called Benghazi, son. And four Americans were killed in Benghazi. And they tried blaming it on a video. And they said at first it was all about a video, but worse than that, Hillary Clinton went to, when the bodies were returned, and she talked with some of the folks there, and she looked the mother of one of the dead heroes in the eye and said, this was about a video. Now, as Secretary of State at the time, she could easily have said, I'm Secretary of State, we have to finish the full investigation, I'm so sorry for your loss. We will eventually come out with a full report, there's all kinds of things out there, but we're going to get you a full report later. But she didn't do that. She looked that woman in the eye and she told her a bald-faced lie, son. And if you want to talk about it, you tell her that. And I said, how do we know it's a lie? Because you could say, well, maybe she thought something on that day. No, because of Trey Gowdy and the Benghazi Committee's investigation. That's it, give Trey a shout out. We now have some of her emails, and those emails show that within 24 hours she was telling other people, including her daughter, this was not about a video, it was in fact terrorism. And why do you think that they were telling those lies? They were telling those lies, ladies and gentlemen, because it was right before an election, and they didn't want to take any chance that people might think that they were weak. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were weak, so they were telling people fibs, they were telling the American people lies, they were telling mothers of deceased heroes lies, and they will tell you lies again this year in order to keep us from getting the White House. And we have to make sure that we just don't come to a rally today, but that we get out there and we tell our friends and neighbors the truth about hundreds of issues, pick whichever ones you want. And we tell them about how she could look a mother of a hero in the eye and tell her something that was false, because power and getting to the White House was more important than telling the truth to the mother of a deceased hero. It was more important. That power was more important. Power means a lot to these folks. And then we have our candidate, Donald Trump, who wants to make America great again. And each and every one of us can think of something that we might have said a little bit differently than Donald Trump might say it, and we can think of things that we might agree with or we might disagree with, but we know this: in his heart, he wants to do what's right for the United States of America. He doesn't need the money, he doesn't need the power. What he needs is a country where his children and grandchildren can prosper. So take these signs home, get your bumper stickers, wear your shirts, get your pins, make sure that you turn out to vote this year, and that everybody in the United States knows that we have one candidate who can win the presidency, who will make America great again, and we have one candidate who will keep us on this road where we have weak economy, where we're losing thousands of jobs due to bad policies, and we want the candidate who can win, that will make America great again, and that is Donald Trump. I know you all have been here for a long time, but I appreciate you being here, but you got to do some more work. You got to keep working to the last, very, very last minute. I used to tell this story back in 2010, and I'll tell it again today, and I apologize if I'm talking too long, but I got to tell this story because you all need to know it. You're the people that can make it happen. Back in 1985, we had a flood in the Roanoke Valley, and I was the chairman of the Salem Republican Party at that point in time. And it was my job to make sure that after the flood, the day afterwards was election day, and they were going forward with the election, so I made sure all the signs were up. And there were a lot of people who didn't turn out to vote that year for whatever reason. But I was standing at East Salem Precinct, and I was thinking, you know, maybe it's time to call it a day. It's a small precinct. It was dark. I'd taken the signs down already. It was about 7:15. The polls don't close here till 7 on November 8th. I want y'all to work till then, because here's what happened that night. I'm standing there. Nobody's come by for about 5 minutes. I'm feeling a little foolish. Out there in the chilly evening, there's been a flood. People are distracted. It's understandable. And then all of a sudden, I see these headlights coming into the parking lot. And this guy jumps out of his car and he says, "Is it too late? Have I missed my opportunity to vote?" He said, "I've never missed an election before, but I was at home taking care of some things. And I saw on the news it was election day." And I said, "No, sir, you can go right through those doors." And I handed him the Republican brochures. And he went in the voting booth and he came out, and I decided I'd stick around until they actually closed the polls. Since I'd gotten one, maybe I'd get another. And he came back out, and he handed me the materials back. He said, "I really appreciate you standing here and giving me those." He said, "I've been so distracted I didn't pay attention, but I figured if a young man like you," okay, it's been a long time, 1985, I was young back then, "but if a young man like you could stand out here in the dark and in the cold for these candidates on a day like today, I could vote for those candidates." And he voted for our candidates because somebody asked him to at 7:15 on election day. I ask you all to find somebody, get them to the polls, or tell them at 7:15 on election day, if you haven't voted, I'll get you down there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us to win this election. Donald Trump is our candidate. We've got to make sure he gets across the finish line and that he wins Virginia. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless these United States of America.
Thank you, Morgan. 45 days to go. 45 days to go. We are getting down to the home stretch, and we can do it. But we've got a lot of people to thank. Where are my friends from West Virginia that came in here today to knock doors in Roanoke? Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming, because you know, in a democracy, you get the government that you deserve. We got more back here, my West Virginia friends. There we go. Back here, who came over, because they pretty well know that West Virginia is a lock, right? That is the 6th, the 9th, and the 5th. We've heard from former congressmen from the 5th District. We just heard from congressmen from the 9th District. But now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the congressman from the 6th District, my congressman that I get to vote for myself, who has been a great friend and a great supporter. You know him. We all love him. We appreciate what you do for us, Bob. Bob Goodlatte. Please welcome Bob Goodlatte.
I'm Bob Goodlatte, and I've got a question for you. Are you ready to elect Donald Trump and Mike Pence President and Vice President of the United States? We're going to do it, but we can't waste any of those 45 days. So if you're here today and you are not registered to vote, you need to register, and you need to register now. And you can do it right here. There are tables set out all outside the Coliseum. Make sure, if you're not registered to vote yet, that you get that done. And secondly, and you can all do this, you can all make sure that you volunteer at the various headquarters around the 5th, the 6th, and the 9th District, including right here in Roanoke. And you also have the opportunity to do it right from home, because you can use your smartphone, you can contact other people, and you can input data into our system. Contact a local office and volunteer, or go to the Trump website and they'll get you working as well. But we need you to work every day. Talk to your friends, your neighbors, your family members, the people you work with, the people you worship with. Make sure they understand how important this election is and that they get to the polls. Donald Trump is the man who, when he had the nomination lined up, picked a great American, my friend Mike Pence, the governor of Indiana, former member of the House Judiciary Committee, to run with him. It is a great ticket. Donald Pence, recognizing that for the last several years, Barack Obama has taken his pen and his cell phone and tried to rewrite the laws around the United States Congress, around the people's representatives, and he is the one who came forward with a great list of judges who he would nominate for the United States Supreme Court, who would stop that and stop it cold. That election on November 8th is not just about the next 4 years, it's about the next generation, because who picks those judges is going to affect your future and your children's future. Here's the other thing that you need to keep in mind. Barack Obama has been marching this country to the left. More big government, more taxes, more government regulation of every aspect of the economy and of your lives for the last 8 years. Hillary Clinton will continue that march to the left, but with this added problem. You remember the president in the 1990s who will now also go back into the White House if Hillary's elected. Bill Clinton went before 2 federal judges. He raised his right hand. He swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help him God. And what did he do? He lied. He committed perjury. He obstructed justice. He was impeached by the United States House of Representatives. He was disbarred. He lost his law license in the state of Arkansas. A disgrace. He would be back in. But his wife, as Secretary of State of the United States, completely ruining American foreign policy as the architect of that policy with Barack Obama, making America the doormat of many countries around the world, inspiring terrorists in the Middle East and elsewhere. She is the one who presided over the disasters in North Africa and the Middle East. And when she went and testified before a Senate committee about what happened in Benghazi when a great ambassador and 3 other great Americans were murdered, what did she say? At this point, what difference does it make? It makes every difference in the world. Get to the polls on Election Day and show her what difference it makes. But then she went before the Select Committee on Benghazi, and she raised her right hand, and she swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help her God. And what did she do? She lied over and over again. How do we know? Because when the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation held his news conference, and he said, she broke this law, and she did this wrong, and this wrong, and this wrong, and I thought he was going to say, therefore, she's going to be indicted. And he said, instead, however, I called him before the House Judiciary Committee the next week to explain himself. And I asked him, how does his testimony and what he said at his press conference match up with what she testified under oath before the Benghazi Committee? And he said, it doesn't match up. We said, are you investigating whether or not she committed perjury before the United States Congress? He said, we haven't received a request for that. So I and the chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee had a referral to the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia and a copy to the FBI director 3 days later. That was 2 months ago. What do you think we've heard since? Crickets, right? So, when you think about this election, you think about what you've had for the last 8 years, think about the leftward march of the Obama administration and the crony corruption of the Clinton administration, and you'll get both with Hillary Clinton. Don't let it happen. Donald Trump will make America great again. Donald Trump will grow our economy. Donald Trump will make us safe. Vote on November 8th. Vote for Donald Trump and Mike Pence, and let's all work together to make America great. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Virginia. There you go. Wow. I love that American flag. I love these flags. We should always stand for our national anthem. We should always stand for that flag. That flag means everything to the United States of America and all of you. I would stand up here tonight and tell you that I'm a deplorable for Donald Trump, but I'm not a deplorable. Yeah, exactly. I love your t-shirt. I want to say thank you. I'm just going to make a couple of comments. We're going to get Donald Trump out here in a little bit. We just arrived just a few minutes ago. I want to thank a number of groups of people that have been incredibly supportive and people that protect our way of life. And the first group that I want to say thank you to are our veterans. So all of our veterans that are here today, big round of applause. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much. The next group, and I just spent the better part, in fact, my entire adult life, almost 3.5 decades in uniform service to our nation. We have a whole bunch of military in our country. Many of them are overseas defending all the freedoms that we hold dear. And I want to thank our United States Armed Forces and our military. That's right. You know, the military men and women that we have, they go and they sacrifice, and many of them sacrifice and give the ultimate, the last true measure of devotion in service and sacrifice to our nation. And many times they go around the world and we do things for reasons that we don't understand and for people that we'll never meet, but we do it because we love our country. We love America. And that's why we do it. I also want to say thank you in a big, big way to all of the families that sacrifice and that are left behind when our military men and women have to go overseas and deploy in these, what just seem to be these never-ending conflicts that we are involved in. And I know Donald Trump's going to talk about some of that this evening. But those family members, those wives, those husbands, those children, the moms, dads, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, whoever, whatever you say, I mean, these are individuals who also sacrifice, and we have to thank them. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of Donald Trump, on behalf of our country, I want to thank all of the families of our military men and women. Thank you so much. The next group that I like to thank, and you got a bunch of them around here tonight, and those are our law enforcement professionals. Thank you so, so much. The men and women who serve our communities, who serve in blue, who protect our way of life in our communities, at the state level, at the local level, and are out there on the sort of the front line of defense, protecting us and protecting our way of life. And we, the United States of America, we must protect what we call the rule of law in this country. We cannot have a breakdown of the rule of law in this country like we see sometimes around these cities and some of these things going on, like down in Charlotte, for example. It's just unbelievable. We cannot have that. Our law enforcement professionals, we have to thank them as much as you can every single day. This election is, and everybody's been saying, is so important. There's so many aspects of this election and why it's so important. This is a change election. This is a change from the status quo, the way it's been for 30, 40 years, to a completely different direction, and a direction that we know, everybody in this room knows, and millions of Americans around the country know, that we have got to get this country back on track. This is a change election. We cannot have a Hillary Clinton, who I have said, and I believe, and it's proven out in many facts, she is a lying, corrupt politician, and she represents failure. This is a change election from one where we need to start winning again to an individual who represents losing and represents everything that she touched turns to failure. I mean, when we start talking about all of the things around the world, all the places that when she was the Secretary of State that are just a complete disaster, and frankly, we're having to pick up the pieces. Our military is out there tonight. They're out there tonight having to pick up the pieces of this unbelievable failure. I mean, we have to cherish our men and women in uniform who are out there. They're doing God's work, and they're doing it because they've been asked to do it. They've been directed to do it. They've been ordered to do it. So I'm not going to take away anything. And I've been out there for 5 years of my life was dedicated to Iraq and Afghanistan. And I will tell you that everything that this secretary touched during a period of time, from Libya, Yemen, Iraq, Syria, the Russian reset, and I could go on and on. I mean, it's unbelievable, and that's what she represents, is everything that she touches has turned into a complete failed thing, and what we need to do is we need to change that immediately, and we need to do it now. One other thing that you just heard the last representative talking about. I mean, just over the last couple of days, in another one of these late Friday afternoon information dumps by the FBI, you know, we have just discovered five people have been given immunity. 5 people that surround Hillary Rodham Clinton have been given immunity. You don't give people immunity unless they've committed a crime. One of those people is her chief of staff, her closest advisor, given immunity. So something's wrong here. There is a cloud of corruption around her, around our government. We cannot have that anymore. If there is a breakdown of anything, there is a breakdown of trust. There is a breakdown of trust between our federal government in Washington, D.C. and the American public. And you and I, there's a breakdown of trust. We have to rebuild that trust, and that's what Donald Trump will do. You know, so why am I here? Why I'm here? Because I found in Donald Trump well over a year ago, and I've gotten to know him quite well. This guy, he is a tough, smart, uses good common sense. He's got a street savviness in him. He knows how to lead. He knows how to make decisions. He's got a strategic vision for this country. I mean, that's what he's got. And that's what he is talking and getting the support from millions and millions and millions of Americans around this country. And we need him. This country needs him. And it's not about, I can tell you, Donald Trump is not about the next 4 years. He's about the next 40 or the next 400. Not for guys like me or some of the older people in this room. He's for the young children. He's for my kids, my grandchildren. That's who he's for. He's to protect this country. Exactly. He is a truth teller. He is a truth teller, unlike some of these people in the back of the room here in the media. And the media has just been unbelievable. They've been unbelievable. And you know what? You know what? The one thing that we know, and you know this, people in this room know this, and the people of America, we're smarter than that. The American public is smart. Exactly. You know, in the military, we talk about doing the harder right, doing the harder right. And many times doing the harder right or taking the harder right path means telling the truth. Telling the truth. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. He is out, he's going around America, and he's telling the truth about what is going on. And frankly, a lot of the people in the political class, a lot of the people in the bubble of Washington, D.C., they can't stand the truth. They cannot stand the truth. And what he's done, he has tapped into what I call an underappreciated part of America, and that's you and I. That's the people of this country that feel underappreciated by their government in Washington, D.C. We can't have that anymore. We cannot have that anymore. So tonight you're going to hear Donald Trump's vision for America, to make this country safe, to make us prosperous, to make us think about who we are as Americans, as America first, placing our country, placing our needs. And you know what? It's okay. It is okay to be selfish about America. I'm selfish about America. I'm selfish about that flag right there. This is super important time. And it's okay to be selfish about America. Our interests, your interests should come first, and not the interests of the political class of this country. We just can't have it anymore. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's unprecedented what's going on in our country today. And Donald Trump's going to come out here and lay it out in a little bit. So the last thing that I would say, and I know that he's going to be out here in just a few minutes, because I think that his sort of big vision for America is said in 4 words, and that's make America great again. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. So I thought we'd start a little bit early, go home and watch football. And your team now, all of your fans are pouring in. They're outside. Virginia Tech won the game, 54-17. Amazing. Lane Stadium, and they're all outside trying to come in. So let's not wait, right? It's great to be in Virginia, a state where I have so many great friends and wonderful employees. I have some great properties here with great employees. It's tremendous. And we have wonderful polls. They just keep coming in. A brand new Rasmussen poll just out has us leading by 5 points nationwide. And on November 8th, we are going to win this state, and we are going to win the White House. We're going to take it back. We're going to take on the big donors and big business and big media. We're going to take on the rigged system that has shipped America's wealth to other countries, and they keep doing so. We're going to replace our failed and corrupt establishment with a government that serves you, your family, and your country. My economic agenda can be summed up in some very, very powerful words: jobs, jobs, jobs. We will cut taxes for all working and middle-class households in America. We will reduce regulations, which will put more money into the hands of our poorest workers and bring thousands of new companies to our shores. We will unleash American energy, creating millions of new jobs and lowering energy costs for everyone. We will repeal and replace Obamacare. President Obama promised his plan would reduce premiums by $2,500 a year. Instead, they've surged to $5,000 a year more. Our replacement plan, that's true, includes expanded access to health care savings accounts with support for those who need it. It includes allowing Americans to buy health insurance across state lines in all 50 states, a dynamic and competitive new market. They will be competing for your business. You will be making your own deals, and they'll be greater than you ever thought possible. Believe me, a lot of those deals today, you don't even know what they're going to be, because they're going to get better and better all the time with competition. We're also going to block grant Medicaid to states so they can develop innovative solutions to make sure no citizen in poverty ever falls through the cracks. Never. High-risk pools will also help to ensure that those with pre-existing conditions will always get the quality coverage they need. On trade, we are going to end the international abuse, the foreign cheating, and the one-sided rules that govern NAFTA. What a deal that is. And the World Trade Organization. Right now, America eliminates its tariffs, but then other countries tax our goods with backdoor tariffs and close their markets. In other words, they tax us, but we don't tax them. Not too good. And you know how that's been working out, folks. It's a one-way highway out of this country for our jobs and our money. Our massive chronic trade deficits are destroying the middle class and shifting money away from workers to large corporations who have no borders. There's a reason the Wall Street donors are giving tens of millions of dollars to my opponent. Hillary Clinton is the voice for global special interests. I'm running to be the voice of the forgotten men and women of this country. Believe me, they are forgotten. My opponent likes to say that for decades she's been fighting for women, that she's been fighting for children. Why then are 70 million American women and children living in poverty or on the brink of poverty in our country? Why has she provided no relief for the millions of Americans in search of affordable, reliable, quality child care? For years she's been doing this, and she's done nothing. You know the old saying, watch what I do, not what I say. At the Trump Organization and in my campaign for president, women occupy some of the highest positions. I have employed thousands of women in my company, women of different backgrounds, women of many talents. And just last week, joined by my daughter Ivanka. No, Ivanka. I laid out my plan for child care and elder care. That plan has many great features, including tax-free child care savings account. Low-income parents are given tax credits they can put straight into those accounts and then get a $500 per child match for those savings accounts deposits. Families can also deduct the cost of child care from their taxes, a huge tax cut for the middle class. We also have, and as we've been doing, we've been talking a lot about improving education. My plan includes school choice for every single disadvantaged child in America. And we're going to get rid of and totally end Common Core. We're also going to bring down the cost of college. Universities get massive federal funds and huge tax breaks for their endowments, but then they don't spend those funds or those endowments on their students. I will work with Congress to make sure these special federal benefits are not available unless universities begin to reduce tuition and student debt. It's too expensive. This will get to the, and this will get it. This will really do it. The problem, this is the problem, and it's right smack in the middle of the source, and reduce both the cost for students and the cost for taxpayers. Our students are drowning in debt, and we're going to fix it. Women also, by the way, value security. They want a commander-in-chief that will defeat radical Islamic terrorism, stop It's time. Going on too long. It's now in 30 countries. Started off in a little area. They left a big vacuum, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and now it's in 30 countries, maybe more than that. We want to stop the massive inflow of refugees, protect our borders, and we want to reduce the rising crime and violence in our cities. We will build a wall. I promise we will build the wall. We will build the wall. And Mexico will pay for the wall. They will. As I campaign across this country, I hear so many stories and pleas from women, especially about drug addiction and opioid use. They are doing their best in their communities and for their families to provide a safe and nurturing environment. But even the best laid plans cannot always protect our youth, and increasingly, many adults from this scourge of drugs. This is a scourge. We lose thousands of our fellow Americans every year to drugs and opioid use. I will stop the drug inflow from our borders, believe me. These terrible drugs come over the border and make their way into our urban and rural communities and into our suburbs. This must stop. This must change. And the people that are there now, your so-called leadership group, will never, ever change it. And that includes Hillary, believe me. Every change starts with a conversation. Together, we will have this conversation, and we will make this change 100%. The change will start immediately. Here in Virginia, we are going to end the war on American energy and on our miners. Hillary Clinton says she wants to put the miners out of work. Clinton and Kaine also want to shut down shale and shut down natural gas. What they've done is incredible. The Clinton regulatory agenda will drive up electricity prices for Virginia families, you know that, you're already seeing it, and will cost the U.S. economy over $5 trillion. By the way, Tim Kaine, less than a week after taking office in Virginia, proposed a $4 billion tax hike on your state, a $4 billion hike, including on people earning as little as $17,000 a year. 1 week in office, and he proposed a $4 billion tax hike. And you know, he's not very popular. He won his election by a very, very close margin. When I heard she picked, I said, you know, maybe that's bad for me. We're just about tied in Virginia, and we haven't started advertising. And they're spending a fortune. She made the wrong pick. We are going to open up all sources of American energy and bring jobs, wealth, and cheaper electricity to Virginia and all over the country. Another major part of our agenda is safety. I believe every family in America is entitled to live in safety and in peace. Today, the nation just opened the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, African American art. It's really a beautiful place. I saw it the other day in going around Washington, and it looked beautiful, and we're all very proud of it, I can tell you that. We congratulate and honor those involved with the project and recognize today the incredible contributions of the African American community to this nation. African Americans have given so much to our nation and sacrificed so much for this nation. Many African Americans are succeeding so greatly in our country, and I will make sure their success is protected and supported. At the same time, too many African Americans have been left behind and trapped in poverty. I will fight to make sure every single African American child in this country is fully included in the American dream. That includes the new civil rights issue of our time, school choice. Democrats have run the inner cities for half a century or more and produced only more joblessness and more poverty. The jobs are leaving, the schools are failing, and crime is rising like never before in the inner cities. So to those African American and Hispanic voters, I say, vote for Donald Trump. What do you have to lose? I will fix it. I will fight harder for you than anyone has before. The policies of Hillary Clinton have brought only suffering in our inner cities, just like her bad judgment overseas unleashed suffering everywhere she went. She's got bad judgment. Of course, she got rich through it all. The Clintons made another $60 million in gross income while she was Secretary of State. Think of that. Worst of all, she put her public office up for sale and then bleached her emails and destroyed her iPhones with a hammer to try and cover up her tracks following a congressional subpoena. Figure that one out. There's a reason the hedge fund managers are donating to Hillary Clinton's campaign and not mine. Everybody getting rich off the rig system, and who wants really nothing but keeping it the same. They want to keep it just the same, and they're throwing their money at Hillary Clinton. I wonder why. My campaign is powered by my own money and by small dollar donations for everybody and all of our patriotic citizens. 90% of our donors are small dollar donations, and we're setting records for a Republican Party, records. Every dollar helps us deliver your county, your country, your area, Virginia, and I'll tell you what, it all essentially goes back to you, because we're just going to make it a better place where we keep our jobs and we bring new jobs in. Our campaign is about breaking up the special interest monopoly in Washington, D.C. We're trying to disrupt the collusion between the wealthy donors, the large corporations, and the media executives. They're all part of the same political establishment. They go to the same restaurants. They attend the same conferences. They have the same friends and connections. They all support the same ideology of globalism that makes them rich while shipping your jobs, your factories, and your wealth to other countries all over the place, in particular, lately, to Mexico. I'm not running to be president of the world. I'm running to be president of the United States and turn things around. I am for America, and for America first always. America first. Together, we will rebuild this country beyond, and I mean beyond any of our dreams. We have such unbelievable potential in our country. Such unbelievable. I mean, the potential we have in this country. I've gone all over the country. The crowds, everything. It's so incredible. The people are so incredible. Our leaders are leading us down a deadly path. Whether it's our military that's so depleted, the greatest people on earth, they have depleted equipment. Everything's wrong. Our vets are being so badly treated. Our veterans. How many veterans do we have today? You have illegal immigrants being treated better than our veterans in many cases. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen anymore. Government will start working again. Fixing things is what I do. Just look at my projects in New York City, where I turn rundown spaces into new centers of business, activity, and opportunity. Where others saw only problems, I saw tremendous potential. We turned empty lots into homes, offices, and living memories for thousands of workers and their families. That's what I do, and that's what I will continue to do for our country, but on a very, very big scale. Believe me, I want to go in. I want to go into our neglected neighborhoods, the failing schools, the forgotten stretches of this nation, and unlock their potential for all of our people. I've made a living for years looking at unused spaces and imagining what they could be. It's been a great living. Politicians look at blighted neighborhoods and offer only excuses. And by the way, all they want is the vote. In the inner city in particular, give us your vote and then we'll see you in 4 years. That's what it is. They do nothing. I look at those same neighborhoods and offer solutions. Everything broken today can be fixed. All we have to do is tune out the doubters, the cynics, and the naysayers, and there are plenty of them. We are a nation of strivers, dreamers, and believers. And that's the spirit that will carry us to victory in November and to great victories as a nation. We will be respected again as a nation. It's that same spirit of resilience I've seen visiting the flood-ravaged towns in Louisiana or meeting with the incredible but hard-hit people in cities and towns like Flint, Michigan. What a shame. What a shame what they've done in Flint. Spent hundreds of millions of dollars to destroy the water system. If they would have left it alone, it would have been okay. Hundreds of millions of dollars, and now they're going to need hundreds of millions of dollars more. And it used to be where the cars were made in Flint, and you couldn't drink the water in Mexico. Today, the cars are made in Mexico, and you can't drink the water in Flint, Michigan. No good, folks, no good. We're going to turn it around. But that means you need to show up and vote on November 8th. You have to show up. You have to knock on doors. You have to pick up that phone. You have to campaign on the streets. Spread the love that we have. This is a movement like nobody's ever seen before in this country. Spread the love that we have in this room. To beat the system, you have to lift your voice, pound the pavement, and get out and vote, and get all your friends out to vote. We have 44 days until the big vote. You have 44 days to make possible every dream you ever dreamed for yourselves and your country. You have one magnificent chance to deliver justice for every forgotten man, woman, and child in this nation. The arrogance of Washington, D.C. will soon come face to face with the righteous verdict of the American worker and voter. Believe me, it's enough. This November, we are going to show the whole world that America is back, bigger and better and stronger than ever before. Here is just some of what will happen starting in January of 2017. I'm going to lower your taxes. Hillary is going to raise your taxes substantially. I'm going to eliminate every unnecessary regulation, of which there are many. Hillary is going to keep it going worse than ever before. We're going to unleash, and I mean unleash, American energy. And we're going to be so good to our miners. We got to help our miners, folks. We're going to get those miners back. We're going to end illegal immigration. And yes, we will build the wall. We will build the wall. We're going to rebuild your very depleted military. And again, take care of our veterans. And we are going to support and cherish our police officers and firefighters. We're going to save our Second Amendment, which is under siege. And we are going to appoint justices to the Supreme Court of the United States who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. We will rebuild our roads, bridges, tunnels, highways, airports, schools, hospitals, and everything else. We will rebuild the infrastructure of our country, which is crumbling like never before. It will be rebuilt. American cars will travel the roads. American planes will soar the skies. And American ships will patrol the seas. American steel will send new skyscrapers into the clouds. And I will keep saying it because I love to say it. We will put our great miners and steelworkers back to work. American hands will rebuild this nation, and American energy harvested from American sources will power our nation. American workers will be hired to do the job. We will put new American steel into the spine of our country. I will fight for every neglected part of this nation, and I will fight to bring us all together as one people. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people under one God, saluting one American flag. It's time to break with the bitter failures of the past and to embrace a new, inclusive, and prosperous American future. We don't have that now. We're a debtor nation. We owe $20 trillion. Our debt has doubled since President Obama assumed office. Doubled. Doubled. All those hundreds of years, and in 7.5 years, our debt has doubled. And our country's a mess. Our roads are bad, our bridges are bad, our military is depleted. It's one thing if it doubles, but you'd like to see everything in tippy-top shape, right? But it's not. It's a mess. Hillary Clinton has a 3-word campaign pledge, and it reads, "I'm with her." I have a different pledge. My pledge reads, "I'm with you, the American people." To all of our people, in all of our cities and towns, I say these words to you tonight. I'm with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you, and we will win together, and we will win a lot. Once more, we will have a government of, by, and for the people. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. And we will make America safe again. But you know what else? We will make America great again. God bless you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to put up a link to our video from earlier today. We have a news video that I believe a lot of people should see. So I'm going to put the link on here. Make sure that you guys watch it and share it. If you guys already saw it, thank you very much. If you shared it, thank you very much. We are putting up another news video tomorrow. So make sure you check it out. So let me put up the link real quick. Also, on the cards, make sure you go check out the video. It's the story of the snake. It was made by Roosevelt. So make sure you go and check it out. If Roosevelt, you can put the link on there, that'll be great too. It's on, if you see the little circle on the top right, there's like a little circle with an exclamation mark on it. If you click on it, it gives you 2 different links that you can go and check out. So make sure you go do that. They're called cards, and they're just external links. So make sure you go and check out that video. Make sure you go and check out our news video we did earlier today. And I would like to thank you for choosing us as your stream of choice. I hope to see you guys here at the debate Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you don't, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you go and set the notification. I'll try to put the link on the screen and on the chat. So make sure you go and set the notification so we can see you there. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope everyone has a good night, morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're at. And thank you very much, moderators, for keeping the chat awesome and enjoyable for everyone. Thank you.